and Bears are done. So far, it's 9-7 UNLV over the Golden Hurricane of Tulsa. Again, that's ESPNU and ESPN3.com.
So our game right here, Cal up by 4. Golden Bears with the basketball. Temple had a 45-38 lead with 7:38 left, and then Cal went on a 16-1 run. Each side the double bonus. The section arrow belongs to Temple.
Still plenty of time. You know, 2-possession ball game, and again, we have a young team that hasn't necessarily been tested as a unit in a tight game situation. But Cal playing with enough poise right now to withstand any defensive charge by Temple thus far. And look at the way they break the pressure right now. And Cal smartly backs it up. And looking to take time off.
They have Gutierrez back in there along with Smith. A couple of guys who can handle the ball. Gutierrez, the one guy with some experience. Down the shot clock. Camp gives off. Franklin on the baseline. Knocked out of bounds. It'll stay with Cal. 3 on the shot clock.
And if you're wondering, obviously, why Temple isn't fouling, it's because there's still enough time for them to get a possession. Cal couldn't run the clock out. There's enough time for a full 35 seconds plus so they can get a shot if they make a stop, and then they can think about fouling.
Camp. Yeah, the pull-up is short, shot clock violation.
Now, we discussed this in the first game, Georgia and Notre Dame. Here's an opportunity to push the ball up the floor, go for 2, because Cal is not going to foul you. Instead, what are they looking for now? Go hard.
Turnover.
That is the ball game. And look, no real urgency to foul.
16th turnover on Temple, and it's a biggie. Now time down for our Old Spice player of the game. Brought to you by Old Spice. Harper Camp redshirted last year with knee trouble. Probably would have been their best post player last year. He was not healthy, waited a long while, 20 months to play again, and he's been very effective in this one.
Yeah, he certainly has been, even though it seemed like a quiet 13-7 because of the activity of all of his teammates. But he has stood out, gotten some baskets when they needed it. And again, I think Mike Montgomery's got to be extremely pleased with the fact that his young team able to hang in there with a more experienced team, more senior-laden team, and a ranked team. Well, that's the impressive nature of Harper Camp's game. Going lefty, righty, even though he's left-handed. Really used his body nicely underneath, got himself in the right position. Kind of set the tone for the gritty aggressiveness of this Cal Bears basketball squad.
Mike Montgomery was at Stanford for all those years, 18 years at Stanford. 29th season as a college head coach, but while at Stanford, he finished with 10 straight NCAA appearances, 98 Final Four, went on to the NBA for a little while. This now his 3rd season at Cal. Only guy to coach both Cal and Stanford.
Right now, he's got to be very, very pleased, as I mentioned. You know, when you talk about Mike's resume after leaving Stanford and going to the pros for a while and that not being a good experience, he took a little hiatus, came back here in the booth with us, and there are a lot of things that you learn. And you don't have to worry about the pressure of winning and losing. You pick this stuff up. Now applying it here, you know, he's got these young guys ready to play. You know, they're willing to work with each other. They understand where the ball needs to go. And you got guys that are just playing assertively, which at least for this game, stark contrast to the way Temple played. They played in stretches, but they didn't play a complete 40 minutes, obviously.
Hernandez can't hit. and that'll pretty much do it. Cal up 56-50, and with 10.3 to go, we'll shoot a pair of free throws.
So I think down the stretch, the object of this game, when you're down like that by 1-2 possessions, is to extend the game. And by working and trying to get a three in a situation, ultimately you know you're going to have to get a three possibly if the other team hits free throw. But you at least put pressure on them. You go to the basket strong. Force them to make a decision. If they foul you, you have a chance to put points on the board with no time elapsing. And if they don't foul you, you got a chance to lay it up and get points, and you can come back and you can foul. You continue to stretch the game and extend it, hoping for a mistake. I just don't agree with messing around with the ball, looking for threes at a time when they could have extended the game even further.
Temple will finish this one 2 for 19 from 3 as Cal wins it 57-50, the final score. Great win from Mike Montgomery's young team. So Cal beats the number 20 team in the land, and our semifinals are set. Boston College, who got past Texas A&M, they'll match up with Wisconsin, and that's at 12 Eastern tomorrow on ESPN. And then Notre Dame will take on Cal on ESPN2. Up next, it's the 76 Classic as Tulsa goes up against UNLV. For Len Elmore and our whole crew, I'm John Shambi. Now we send it to Mark Neely and Stephen Barno in Anaheim.